Hello, welcome to this week's edition of the Big Venture Zone. It's the show that's geared to Gen Z entrepreneurs and founders, and we're here to support uh, their journey, share ideas, strategies, and provide a community for our younger generations to succeed in both business and life. Like on a show that we did a couple of weeks ago, we had the CEO and executive director of an organization in Canada called Jack.org, and that's a peer-to-peer um, organization where youth help to empower and talk about mental health issues. And so we'll do that, but then like today, our show is really more about business and strategy. So our guest this week is Genny Smith, and Genny is a business coach, entrepreneur, and strategist based in Huron County, and she brings over 17 years of experience helping people turn ideas into sustainable, profitable businesses. She's known for her practical approach, sharp communication style, and no fluff advice. She doesn't sugarcoat it. Genny works with aspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners, and she's and also works with mission-driven founders who are ready to grow with confidence and clarity. Through her coaching work, Genny helps businesses modernize, strengthen operations, improve marketing, build real-world strategies, and that actually work in today's economy. She's especially passionate about helping Gen Z entrepreneurs, go figure, perfect for this show. And she recognizes the unique advantage that they already have, like adaptability, authenticity, digital fluency, and the ability to build community-driven brands faster than any generation before them. Genny is also the founder of Middle Season. It's a women's health and coaching brand focused on helping women navigate perimenopause, menopause, business and life transitions with confidence and humor and moxie. Whether she's coaching a founder through growth challenges, helping someone launch their first business, or speaking about entrepreneurship and resilience, Genny brings energy, honesty, and actionable insight to every conversation. So without further ado, Genny Smith, welcome.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me. This is so exciting.
I
Thanks for
know
seeing me.
it's great. We talked about this a while ago, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Genny. Um, as Gen Zs embark on launching a business or even an existing business, I want to look at the various strategic areas because you mentioned it in your bio, but then we had a pre-conversation earlier this week, and you talked about strategy there too. So I want to look at the various strategic areas for success and growth to happen. So
Mhm.
let's begin at the beginning, and that's when we're planning to launch. And one of the key strategies, Genny, that I feel is often overlooked by entrepreneurs, because it's not the most fun thing to do, and that's doing proper market research. So when you coach and teach entrepreneurs, what must founders and entrepreneurs discover and need to know prior to launching their venture?
Yeah, it's we're right in line because that's exactly what I find to be the most important. And continuing it through when at the beginning at the starting stages of a business, or when you're continuing to grow your business or develop into a new area or segment, or even testing,
Yeah.
really. And market research can be a lot of fun. I think the whole idea that people think market research, you have to hire a consultant or do this or that, or they don't really understand what market research is. And we, as humans, we do market research every day. We just don't realize it. So an example of this would be when I was the first employee at Cowbell Brewing Company. And they had the Sparling company that founded Cowbell, had hired me and an intern for 5 months to do market research. So what that meant was going to, because we had at Cowbell, we had the event center, we have the brewery, we have the restaurant, and we wanted to really expand it and make it about bringing Gen Z home, giving them jobs, really understanding it. But we also, what we needed to do is we needed to understand who was out there, who was doing what well, and if they were doing either it well or not, what were the takeaways for us? So Southern Michigan, all across the province of Ontario, for 5 months we traveled. We went to restaurants, festivals, events, and we basically did sort of a secret shopper meets undercover boss. So even things like researching where we were going. So, researching, say, the town. So we called it the ARC. So it's anywhere from Collingwood to Elora to Blythe to us, and then up to Grand Bend. And that's sort of we called it our own backyard. So who in that area is doing things that are similar to what we're doing? What are they doing? What do we like? Down from researching them on the internet. Can we find them? What are their social handles? Are they up to date? Do we like their social handles? Do we like their website? From there, we would visit them. Is it easy to get? Is there instructions on their website or Facebook page or their Google business profile? Depending on the business, a website's not always needed. So from finding them to driving there, was there signage? Was there parking? Was it accessible parking? Were the washrooms clean? Were the staff nice? What were the staff wearing? Did they do things like, for us, it was the brewing industry. So when they served you a pint of beer, let's say, did they use the right coaster with the right glass, with the right beer? Did they turn it towards you? Was it an experience? So these things we tracked from everything from the Dungannon Rodeo, it's one of the events around here, to
Sounds
um,
fun.
to a couple amazing breweries in Michigan, Toronto, Ottawa, Collingwood. We went all around to see and to. So my intern, she was in her 20s, I was in my 30s. So we went around and we did all of this. So it has a good perspective of, I'm a parent, I'm a mom, she's a single 20-year-old, and we looked at it from both lenses. So that is actually market research. So if you were a cleaning company and say you are looking to expand into maybe more industrial, when you go to get your groceries, are the floors clean? Is the staff nice? Like, what is it? What does that look like? Things like that. Or my daughter, actually, she's 22 and she started her own cleaning business. So she said, well, Mom, how do I, like, what's market research for me? Well, when you go to a home, is it clean? Is it something you want to clean? Let's have a look at that, right? Do you do windows? Do you do baseboards? What is that? What is sort of just really everything that you would look at, but in a deeper dive? It's sort of like if you're going to buy a red Camaro, then you see all the red Camaros, right? Do it like this or that. So really, market research can be a lot of fun. Know your industry, know your competitors, find if there's any gaps. And sometimes when businesses are doing, or entrepreneurs are looking at market research, it solidifies that they should be in business or that they shouldn't be. Maybe
Right.
there's 7 candle companies around you because you've done your market research, you know the competition. Or say there is 7 candle companies within a certain area, um, but they don't use soy, and you're a soy-based candle company.
Right.
So to really understand and have fun with that market research, it can be a lot of networking, making friends with people in the same industry. Yeah, just thinking about some of the youth that I've worked with, they once I explain that, they're like, oh, I do that every day. I look at these things every day. So it can be a lot of fun, but then to track it, was it an experience? Is that what you're wanting in your business? What does that look like? And a lot of times the market research too can help you really identify key areas in your business plan.
Right. And then also you want to do surveys and get the needs of the customers and their challenges and their issues, and then come up with
Yeah.
products and services to help them. Jenny, sometimes though, and this is what I find in my work, and you probably saw it too in your work, one can overdo it when it comes to market research, and to a point where they need to be perfect and they won't take any sales or marketing action until they feel the research is perfect. What's a healthy mix of uh, doing market research and taking action? So, and do you feel that a combination of taking action and research is a better strategy? What's your take on that?
I That's a great point, David. I think looking at 3 to 5 businesses and even asking friends and family, you can overdo it by doing the research. To your point, there's a point where you have to realize it's never going to be perfect. You have to hit go, and you'll continue doing market research along your business journey. But I would say looking at 3 to 5 very similar businesses to your own and looking at what they're doing, like we talked about, and where you fall into that pricing, advertising, some of the options that you would offer. So say maybe it's a car detailing or a lawn or a landscaping company you're starting, let's say, or anything in the digital world. Really, you could drown yourself in market research, but
Yeah.
I would suggest 3 to 5 companies continually networking and talking to people. And we'll talk about that too, about
Mhm.
how very important networking is.
I've got
And
that later.
yeah, and you really got to hit go. It'll never be right. It'll never be the right time, the perfect place. That doesn't exist being an entrepreneur. You got to hit go and go. Like just hit it and get your wheels going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely the point where, and actually, to be honest, I did that with my last uh, I'm as you mentioned, I've moved my business over to primarily over to helping women's health coaching. I still have business coaching clients that I work with, but even doing that, I took a really long time. And then there was a point where I had a conversation with one of my mentors and said, and they had said, it's time to hit go. I don't know how much more you think you need to know, but you're doing this. And I thought, yeah, I sat on that a little bit too long, but now I'm ready. There is that comfort, the comfort that you need to have to hit go, but sometimes it is uncomfortable and you got to do that. That's just business. And that's the exciting part about business.
Right.
So yeah, you can drown yourself in market research for sure.
Yeah.
But hit go and like mess it up and figure it out sort of thing. I follow the mindset mentor, and he says, F it up and figure it out. Right. I don't want to swear, but
Yeah.
we got to figure it out. And then a lot of times you'll figure out more of what you want in your business if you start doing it.
Yeah. I
Does that
agree.
make sense?
Yeah, totally. And you're right. It's never perfect. And if but we have this fear, the fear that what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if all these what ifs? And it's like, well, if you're thinking that, what if it does work? Like flip
Yeah,
it, flip the script,
for sure.
and move forward. Always be. I'm a believer of you always got to be doing market research, and it's just not your customers or your competitors or the market, but it's also like research on what technology do I buy, what equipment do I need, how am I going to get money. That's all research, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I had uh, an entrepreneur I was coaching, and she had a catering business, and she had 4 items on her catering list,
Hmm.
and 2 of them used rice paper for her wraps.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't do enough research, and all of a sudden, those wraps, the ones she uses, only came from China. Well, they put a halt on that. So her not doing enough market research to have 2 of her 4 products not available or based on that specific supplier and product, that was catastrophic for her business.
Yeah.
So, like when you're talking about, looking at different things, it is also if you're a product-based business, knowing your suppliers, doing the market research to know, okay, if I'm only able to get products from one supplier, that's scary.
Yeah.
So to look who else can supply this, what is the timing, how fast can they get it to me? Is there a conversion rate if the currency isn't the same as what you like in Canadian for us? If it's coming over in euros, well, does it make sense still? So that stuff really matters for your bottom line as well.
Yeah, definitely. And a good strategy, I feel, is to have like three suppliers in the categories you need, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes, I agree.
just in
Yeah,
case, right?
absolutely.
And have your best supplier, but have three others. Let's keep moving forward on our strategy discussion, and this time, the strategy is around what technology and equipment is needed to start right. Understanding that equipment depends, of course, on the business type and the needs. Like
Mm-hmm.
for us, like consultants, we need a phone and a computer, and that's pretty well it. But
Right.
however, in order to launch, what are some must-haves in terms of technology and and equipment?
I think across the board, regardless of what your business is,
Yeah.
it has to be online somewhere. So you absolutely have to have access. You have to have, whether you're an Android or an iPhone user, you have to have an up-to-date uh,
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
That's it. That is, and you have to have fast Wi-Fi, no matter what. Everything. I don't know ad business other than some of the Mennonites that work around our community
Hmm.
that can survive without a phone. A lot of businesses can do a lot from just their phone, but having fast internet, an up-to-date phone with a good camera, um, talking about doing social media, it is it's a pinnacle of what we're doing right now. You have to have the good phone. I have things like, I know this isn't you're sending you this on audio, but I have a good tripod for
Hmm.
my videos, and I have this can't really see it here, but um, it's a handheld recorder where you put your phone in it and it moves around. So it's not you just holding your phone all the time. Things like that are really handy if you are outside or you're at different events. But having that's really, really important. Looking at accounting software, that's really important. Getting your books right in line when you're starting out. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's lots of things online that are relatively free. But as in terms of technology, you need a good computer, good software for your accounting, for your bookkeeping, because we love what we do, but we want to get paid too. So we have to make sure we keep track of that. And CRA, we know we have to keep track of that. But yeah, really, it can be, if you're just starting out, want to keep your expenses low, your phone is probably the most important with starting a business right now. Even if it's landscaping or gardening or personal shopping, I don't know of one business, like I said, that can run without a phone.
Yeah. Even and if you let's say you are a landscaper and you're marketing savvy, and you can post your before and after pictures of the house you're just did work for on your social media channels, and then people are going to go, oh my god, that house
Yeah,
is a mess, oh my god, look what he did or she did, right?
yeah,
Yeah. What
yeah.
about various like AI applications? I see ads for like monday.com or
Mm.
applications to help you get the ideal client. What do startups really need as far as AI goes? Because I think Monday.com seems like you've got to be into the game already. You've got to have staff and you've got to have people on board, and and you have to be busy because it's like a scheduling type of application. So are there any AI applications that, boy, you have to have as you start?
Well, I've looked into quite a few. I love AI, and I think it is definitely something that businesses need to take advantage of and use in their day to day. I use it daily, hourly. But things like Monday.com or Clip Up. There's a few like that. The learning curve on that is they're pretty steep. And if you are not savvy, and I have to say, my son's 31, he's a Mason, and I set up his Google business profile. He has his own business, and I added all of his information and his pictures. He's not he really is the technician. He's not the salesperson or the manager of the business, like in the book E-Myth. And my daughter too. My middle daughter's 22, and she has her own cleaning business. They're not as savvy and don't want to be as savvy as I thought they would be. So using something like an AI, ChatGPT is still my go-to. I'm using Claude, Perplexity. Depends what I'm doing. If I'm writing an email, because I spend so much time on ChatGPT, sorry, it knows me really well. So I'll say this in a little bit more of a spicy Jenny way, or a little bit more professional Jenny. So it knows me really well. I find Claude is really good for, writing letters, or, if it's an estimate or a quote. And I'm just using the free Claude right now because I want to see what its capacities are. But yeah, there's quite a few out there. But when you're just starting out, using something like Monday.com, and quite honestly, even things like Sprout or any scheduling for your socials, there's a big learning curve. And I think once you get rolling on your business, or if you've used them before, or even think applications like Slack, that's great if you have a team. But really, it's pretty low. I would say there's not many that I would say you have to use. Yeah. But I think you'd be missing the boat if you didn't use AI on a regular basis.
Yeah, like Claude and ChatGPT would be my two faves.
Yes. Yeah. Like I use it for email writing responses to some of the comments that I have, because sometimes because it's just me and I don't have a virtual assistant yet. But sometimes I get I'm not sure if I'm creative enough. So I just copy it and I'll say, reply to this person. I've met them before, da, 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 da. I use ChatGPT for that. And you can create your own like direct. I have one that's a direct message to my clients or to followers. You can create your own chat bot in ChatGPT that will just show responses for that, which is very handy. But I know my daughter, she uses ChatGPT all the time. She's 20, like in her business. So, and it also really helps with planning content. Specifically around, so say right now, so beginning of the year, like landscaping, for instance, you would want to, how would it be when you're starting out or you're looking for people, ask ChatGPT of what would be good during May, or in June, we're entering to June. What do people want to hear, or what's attracting clients? And they'll do the deep research for you, and even some sources they'll find for you. So I think using an AI for those types of things is that's where you spend your time on learning something, and not Monday.com.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. And then, like your son or your daughter, if they don't like, and because I don't necessarily like posting things either on social media, but I do it, and I do it daily, Monday to Friday. But I think, you mentioned bringing in a virtual assistant or maybe a digital marketing associate, perhaps even a student. They're still in school and they're doing this for the summer. They can help you as well. And you don't have to break the bank as well,
Yeah, and any ones that I've worked with are trendy. They want to do it. They're great to work with. Like I would hire a student virtual assistant. No, absolutely.
That's their jam. Like they're trendy.
It is.
They're tech minded. It's like like I call mine the Swiss Army knife, because she's got all these tools, right, that she can offer.
Yes.
It's like, it's like my Swiss Army knife.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward with our discussion on strategy and the various aspects of it as you start, launch, or grow. I follow an author named Daniel Pink. He's from the States. He used to write in I think the New Yorker, great author, great mind. I follow him on LinkedIn. And this week, I think I saw it on Thursday or Friday, he posted a video not to follow your passion, but to follow what speaks to you in terms of making an impact in an area you care about. So create a business that inspires positive change for customers. And as far as launching and even growth strategies go, because we're talking about strategies, is this wise advice? Because as an entrepreneur, as entrepreneurs, we're often found wondering, well, what do I do in my business? What should I launch? What should I start? So he's saying, don't follow your passion, follow the impact you want to make, follow the change you want to see in the world, as Gandhi said, right? So what's your take on that?
I don't agree with that. I think, but I also do think they should be one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't follow my passion, and my passion right now is to coach women. It doesn't like any woman. It doesn't matter the age. I'm just pivoting to that because I'm finding that's my passion right now. I find if you don't follow your passion, it could um I don't know, turning 50 at the end of June has really changed my perspective. So I would say before this, my 17 years of business coaching, I did what he said. I didn't follow my passion. I followed the impact that I could have. And what I found was with that, it was a lot of feeling like I was salesy, convincing people they needed me, right? And convincing people I was worth it. Where now me following my passion and knowing the impact, so using his words, but we're going to move them around a bit, following my passion and knowing the impact and value I bring to people by following my passion, I don't have to sell anything. I just talk and I just listen to them and figure out what their hot buttons are, what they need. To me, when you just said that, my first thing was that sounds really salesy. And I don't know about you, but I do not enjoy person. I'm a relationship person. I know a lot of very successful people that they do sell, but that's not really the way of the world anymore. And my children don't like salespeople either. And I'm saying my children because they're both entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and they're Gen Zs.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they really want to know. They want to know the person. They want to know. They like I think what Gen Zs really need to focus on it is their passion, but they're very good at teaching us it's not work life balance. It's work and life. It's all in one. So what I think that he's missing there is um, getting back to work. It's work. It's work. I don't feel like I'm working when I'm after my passion like this. So yeah, I mean, and Gen Z like they want to see from what I've learned, they want to see people's faces. They want real stuff. They want to share their own processes, or they want to know what other people are doing. I've just written some points down. They want to talk openly about wins and mistakes. They want to know. They want that more relationship piece, not the. They don't want to be told what to do. And I think when you have conversations with Gen Zs, it's for me anyway. It's a listening. I listen to my daughter and my son, and I try to help them with different ways that they can expand their business. It's some things that they wouldn't have maybe thought of, like the Google business profile. Yeah, and it's this that I guess the sales is just so ick for me. I think businesses that are booming right now are relationship based, and that's what Gen Zs want. They don't want fake. They don't want salesy. I think they sniff out the bad sales stuff.
Yeah, they
That
want authenticity, you know?
yes, they want yeah,
Come from
yeah,
the heart.
and
Uh,
they want you to put like sort of like all those videos, get ready with me, pack with me. They want you to experience with them. So if you aren't going after your passion, how authentic authentic
Oh,
would your
how
would your
authentic, that's the word.
yes, thank you. How authentic would they be? Even things like my girls, they follow people that I think it's called mukbanging, where they just eat a whole bunch of food at once. Like they find that stuff fascinating, right? Um, yeah, things like that, or things like what I'd never do in my business, or just sharing. I follow this guy, and he has this, the Finding Nemo. Do you know
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah,
And
I never saw it, but yeah.
well, there's this really cool dude turtle. And he talks like, "Hey, dude, come and come and," he talks in a really cool voice. Well, I follow this guy on TikTok who has that same voice, and he's just like, you know what I really love about today? I just love looking at the trees, or just sunny day, or I'm just doing this. He's so happy and relatable and real. He's probably 25, and I love his content. It's really great. So yeah, I think really, I don't agree with what
Daniel.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see that working.
Well, and conversely, if you look at Simon Sinek, who wrote, What's Your Why?
Yeah.
Starts with why. That's important. And that to me is your why could be, well, we're making this impact. But to me, also, why could also be, and, we're really passionate about this impact. Like you're passionate about helping, premenopausal and menopausal women. And
Mhm.
that's your jam. So I also like, I think, being clear on your why. And Simon actually talks about this is what we believe, right? We believe that women that are going through premenopause and menopause really struggle with this. And this is what, this is how we help them. And
Yeah.
so you're aligning your belief about your business or your idea with sort of definitely a need in the marketplace. So I really like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I switched because I was having a hard time with um like my offerings, the amount to charge, because I would
Right.
love to do what I do for free, but I
Yeah.
need to eat.
Yeah.
I need to pay my
Oh,
mortgage, all those
that.
good things,
Oh,
right?
oh,
Like,
bills.
yeah. But so I was really trying to figure out my value. And my mentor said, can we take the word value out and use the word impact? So, what impact am I going to have on my clients? Whether it's cutting their grass, cutting their hair, doing their lashes, cleaning up, being a mason, being a virtual assistant, whatever business you have, what impact am I going to have on with my customers and my clients? And it's a great way to strategize your business in terms of it being a passion based, because that's my why. Is my passion is my why is that I don't want women to have to go through what I have and currently still are going through. That's my why. And the impact that I can have on them, it's almost a shame if I don't get out there and I don't tell them, I'm able to impact them less. So it sort of gets over the, hey, I am worth this. And I do impact their lives through my passion and naturally, because it is my passion.
I like then. So I think we got a really good approach going for those that are going to launch something new, and it's a combination, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're with Jenny Smith. She's a coach, facilitator, business owner, and a strategic guide for startup success to happen. And you're listening to the Big Venture Zone, the success show for Gen Z entrepreneurs and founders. And I'm your host, David Cohen. Jenny, back to this discussion of various strategic advice for launching, starting, or growing. We talked about a starting point in deciding what to do as far as business goes. Like, do we do a passion? Do we do a need? Do we, like, what is it, right? Is it impact? And we discovered that it was a bit of everything. But we refer to leading, with impact over passion. What are 2 to 3 steps in making good decisions in
Mhm.
deciding what to do as far as your business goes?
That's a great question. I think so. I guess my first thought is looking at finances. That's if you have a heavy startup cost, there's a lot of expenses, doesn't make sense right now. So that's something that and having a good bookkeeper and or and making sure that you have accounting software. So the best strategy to start is you really have to have a look at your finances, what your business is going to cost. It takes a long time to get your business up and running. What does that look like? Can you sustain the business? Is it full-time, part-time, a side gig? Is it remote? Is there a lot of traveling? So really understanding what it looks like. I know a lot of people have side hustles, and oftentimes I've seen it can grow into something very big. But really, to start out, finances are probably the one thing that'll make or break your business the quickest.
Right, because if you
You
can't
can't
afford it and you can't afford it long term, you won't be around.
you won't be in business. Yeah. So really understanding where you are financially and timing. I've seen businesses too, um, and planning out. So, but I've seen businesses get too successful too fast. And one, she had to shut down because it was just too much, didn't fit in with her lifestyle. So really planning it. And I don't mean you need an 80-page business plan,
No,
but
what a waste.
no, it's a total waste. Yeah,
No,
for
nobody's
sure
going
it
to
is.
read it.
No, for sure. But it's kind of like, well, us old school, it's a map, right? If you don't have a plan or a map, so I want to go to Chicago. Okay, great. Well, how am I going to get there? Also, what if I come up to a detour? I think I know the way to Chicago, but if there's a detour and I have to skip around this city or that city, which happens in business, okay, I think I know what I want in my business. Oh, but now I hit a roadblock. It's going to cost me $10,000 for this that I didn't account for. Really planning it out. And it can be a 6-page, 4-page business plan, but really mapping it out, but starting with your finances and really understanding what your expenses are, because most businesses, it's a lot of, even a website, or you don't choose to have a website, but your phone, you have to have that capability. You have to, you could have a great marketing plan, you could have a great website, great everything, but not have the money for you to travel to see your clients or what have you.
Right, and one of those hidden costs we don't really think about is insurance. I
Oh,
had
and
a
you have
client
to.
who had
Yeah.
a great idea, and the
Yeah.
insurance cost made it wasn't going to happen. It was too much.
Yeah, I had a client like that too. She was looking to do some transportation, and her insurance company said, "Oh, no, no, no." Her business was dead in the water.
Yeah,
So had she not looked at those costs and what that was, um, she almost bought a van
yeah.
checking her insurance.
Right. So she almost bought a van. Then you got your business cards, your marketing, your website. You're spending all this money. It's like, yeah, but I can't do it because insurance costs are too high, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
so
And
yeah,
that's
look,
again goes back to market research as well.
yeah, look before you leave, right?
Yes. Look very, yes. And also things like, we're talking about strategy. What supports do you have? So if you have a partner and your partner works full time or doesn't support your business or does, like you really have to look at your support system too. That's probably one of the first questions I ask businesses. Does your husband or wife or partner or whomever support what you're doing?
Yeah, the family's got
Because
to be on board.
yes, your friends have to be like, it can't be, that can make or break a business as well,
Yeah,
because you not only do you need that support, you need the, even if they don't know anything about business, which my family really doesn't, that's just not their thing. um, Really having people around you that do understand business and support you, because if you come home from a long day and it's been a good day or bad day and they don't support you, that's tough. You're
it
climbing
is.
a pretty tough hill there.
Yeah, and I remember in work I did a number of years ago as a coach and facilitator. I mean, I still do it, but it became really prevalent in this provincial training program. It's called the Ontario Self-Employment Benefit Program. So
Mm,
our clients would come in, they get 6 weeks of in-class training, income support, their EI, right, which turned into a training allowance. They got coaching, and then they were in this program for 48 weeks. And often the husband or wife partner would criticize the entrepreneur and expect like, well, you're working from home. What, can you get the kids at 3:30 from school? It's like, no, honey, honestly, I can. I might work from home, but I'm doing my work on my business, which is kind of 9 to 5. So, there's this expectation just because it doesn't look like you're in business, so that you're right. Like you got to bring your family around and say, here's what's going on. This is what I need. Are we okay?
Yes.
And develop a game plan as a family to,
Hmm.
to make it work, right?
Absolutely. And what I think Gen Z, what they do very well, and I'm trying to implement this myself a
Mm-hmm.
little bit better, is they set boundaries. They really are very, very good at this is what I do. Like they're really, really good at that. But also the having that support. And I'm like with my son, Jesse, him and his wife have 6 kids. So if he has a job he has to do, like a mason job he has to do on a Saturday, well, all those kids play sports. Is that going to work? So if he didn't have his wife who was amazing, and they support each other like I've never seen before, it's wonderful. That could really hurt and hinder a lot of what their life is. So that's the support is really, really important.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta
Got to
keep
speed up.
moving forward just for
Sure.
time. So, in your work as business coach, strategist,
Yeah.
great answers, by the way, today. Lots of wisdom and nuggets for our listeners. What are 2 reasons a new business doesn't get traction or work in your mind? Like they're not getting clients.
Their mindset, that can be huge. Confidence and mindset, and being fearful of failure. The great lessons that I've learned um, have been from failure. I've never really learned much from success, to be quite honest. You know,
Yeah.
like you need to make mistakes. You need to fall on your face, and you need to. I used to be in the media all the time. I was the communication director for Cowbell Brewing Company,
Mm,
so I looked after the community fund. So I was online all the time. I had a very public profile. In the last 5 years, I just had some personal stuff, and I wasn't online much. And it's taken me a little bit, to be honest, to be comfortable with that. Um, but what I've done is just put stuff out there. It's not perfect. People don't want perfect.
no,
I put it out there, and I had people say, Jenny, I connected with you because I'm always excited when you're posting. I know something great's going on, and I thought, oh, so the impact I've had by posting, getting over my fear. My fear was people would make fun of me, David. That was my fear, and I thought, why would they make fun of me? And if they do, my social still works, isn't it? When I
yeah.
was when I was running for council, my daughter and I had some great big signs. I was running for municipal council here, and I had great big signs. And one of the signs had my picture on it. Well, we drove by, and someone had drawn a mustache on me, and
Ah,
my daughter was 6, and she was devastated. She said, "Mom, somebody really hates you." And I said, "No, no, no, Kenny, look it. Now they know there's an election. 2, they know exactly who I am. 3, it's working." So for me to get over that, and um it's actually built my confidence, and it's allowed me some creative fun. So it's definitely the fear of failure, and that I think, and then the confidence is pretty hard if they've never been in business. But what I would say to that is, look for a mentor. I've always had a mentor in various businesses and industries that I've been in, because I've been in quite a few industries, coaching, and having a mentor really, really helps, because you can ask questions of stuff that you don't painfully have to figure out on your own.
right. What should we look for then in a mentor? Because this is a good thing to have, somebody in your court that understands business and has experience
Yeah.
that they're sharing with you. So what do we want to look for in a mentor?
Well, I would think someone that is a really good, someone that has has experience in your discipline or your field, someone that jives with your personality. And for me, I'm very open, I'm honest, I'm blunt. If someone was very quiet and wasn't like that, that might find that offensive. That's not a great fit. But when you're looking for someone, even online, like that's how I found Rob Dial as I was going through, and I thought, gosh, his mindset mentor, he was just saying all the things I was like, yes, 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 like those are my values. That's my value set. Have impact, help people. Don't be obnoxious. Don't, he aligned with my kind of my we grooved, right? I felt like instant connection. So, and it can be any age. He's 10 years younger than me. He mentors me. Like I watch his stuff. I'm in his program. And I've also had mentors that were 20 years older than me. So it's really finding that connection and the person that has the same value sets. And oftentimes it's not, will you be my mentor? It's more of, hey, this sounds great. Can I ask you questions? And it morphs into it. Or you find someone that's really intriguing, or done things that you've done, or even if you see it online, or if you're anywhere, um, don't be afraid to talk to people and ask them. Like, people love talking about themselves, and they love to share. People ask me, well, what's this like? What's that like? I love sharing what I've done in my experience. So finding a mentor, I think those are the things of being open, for one, getting your ego aside, and listening. Look for someone that listens really well.
Yeah, then you got to ask good questions so you're not wasting their time either. So it's
Absolutely.
got to be a win-win. Okay, our next key strategy, that was good because also having a mentor helps with your work and life balance because you don't have to figure it out all on your own. You can go to somebody and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. What do you think? And so it'll help lessen some stress in your life and in your business, by having
Yeah.
that extra pair of eyes and ears,
Well,
right?
and it's interesting. Just quickly, I had a friend of mine as a travel agent, and I said, "How are things going?" And she said, "I'm so overwhelmed." She's never had a business before. She's out on her own now, and she said, "I'm so overwhelmed." And I said, "Well, is there anything I can help you with?" And she said, "I don't even know where to start. I don't even know. I don't know this." I said, "Let's just have a conversation. Let's talk about your business. Let's just have a chat over coffee." And she's in Thunder Bay, and I'm near Grand Bend. Or for your listeners, I think they know Grand Bend, Kincardine.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm in Goddard. So I said, let's just have a conversation, and out of that conversation will come what you need. She'll, like, when you talk it out and talk through it, it will help me identify what you need. Because if you just see, I have this, I have that, I have this, a mentor or a coach can really just having a chat with them.
Yeah, yeah, so important. And not to be afraid. Like, as you said, most people like to help. They like
Yeah.
talking about themselves, so don't be afraid to ask and inquire.
Yeah.
All right, just moving forward. Next strategy is deciding what kinds of people or clients you want to serve. So, what are a couple of key actions or factors that goes into developing your ideal client list?
Well, maybe if I can talk about my business and how I design it, if that's okay. And
Hmm.
it's duplicatable. So for me, in my business, I know exactly who I can help because of it's women between the ages of 30 and 60 who are going through hormone or perimenopause, reproductive, actually straight to postmenopause. So pretty much any woman over 20. Um, so I was able to drill it down to that. And also, that's why I offer an hour free consultation, because I want to see if I'm a good fit for them, but also if they're a good fit for me. So, do I get a sense that they're coachable? Do I get a sense that they can pay me, that they have good integrity, not only for myself and my business, but for the industry of coaching?
Hmm.
And I also don't want people to spend time or money on something they're not ready for. I'm not here to take their money. I'm here to add value and impact their life in a positive way. So, like I had said before, I used to convince people they need me as a business coach. Now I don't do that. I talk to them, see where they're at. I listen. I ask a lot of questions, and then we feel it out from there of, is this a good fit? Say it's like lawn. I'm just looking at these beautiful lawns down my street. If it's somebody that it's a lawn care. Well,
Mhm.
is that client going to, do they look like they're going to pay? Because let's get real, no one wants to chase money. But also, can I do what they need? Am I the right person for it? Are my skills or expertise, could they help them? Do they have a garden? Do they need that help? Is it lawn care? Really making sure that your clients are on the same page and that you're honest with them, and really listen to them and ask questions to see if they're honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have 5 amazing clients than 25 not so great.
Yeah. We used to call them PETA clients.
Okay.
Pain in the ass.
Yes. Yeah. And to be honest, starting a business now, um, I, I would say this is the best advice I could give a Gen Z that's looking at starting a business. Set your boundaries, know what you want, know your values, and you will attract the right clients or customers. Going after this or that or throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks, your business will not be sustainable if you continue to run after clients, run after clients, run after clients.
Yeah.
My daughter has 6 solid, this will be the 3rd summer she's had her business. She has the 6 same businesses that people that she cleans for, because
Right.
she started out that way. Good people. Yeah.
And you're looking for alignment. You don't chase.
No,
You've
you
got
should.
needs, we can help you. That's an
Yes.
alignment. Whereas if you're chasing, well, we have a special, buy our product, we have a special price. You're not saying anything. You're focusing on price rather than the value you bring to the table. Get out of that pricing conversation and more into
Yeah.
alignment and sharing your gifts, your talents, your impact, and your value, right?
Yeah. Is what you're doing going to be give the potential client you have in front, is it going to be a positive impact or a negative? If it's negative, you can't, with your own integrity and your own dignity, you can't service that client. It's not a good fit, and that's okay. They will come. The good ones will come. They
Yeah,
really will. They
yeah,
really will. And I mean, I'm not a Gen Zer. I'm a Gen Xer. But I that's something that I think is very important for a sustainable, happy business. And happy meaning you're happy because you're sticking with your values, you're sticking with your boundaries, and the money will come if you're doing the right things.
I love that. I'm going to use that quote in the marketing of this show today.
Yeah, it's so
We
important.
got a couple minutes left.
Sure.
Another thing to help you with your work life and in balance, or your business life and balance, is this idea of hiring. So what do we need to look at in someone we want to bring into the company? What are some boxes that need to be checked to ensure that there's a good fit? This is a good employee. One box I feel, I'll get the party started here, is to do a background check. Do they have a good background? Do they come with good credentials and good behavior? What are a
Get
couple
yeah,
of other boxes we should look at when hiring?
get on their social media accounts. That will show you everything you need to know.
Hmm.
It's the way of the world. It shows, some people interview really well and don't work for shit. And some people don't interview well and they are dynamite workers. But what people put on their social media, it'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I would definitely start there. And if people, um, I've had some kickback about that over the years. I think people are better now, but you put it out there. I want to know who you are, because you're not only representing yourself, me, my business. I want to make sure our values align, and I want our culture to be one of that
Well,
value.
yeah, it's culture. Like that comes
The
first.
culture.
And
Yeah.
experience. What's the experience you want your customers to have? when they come into
Right.
your store or come into your office or meet you or see you at a networking event, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
beautiful
It's
stuff.
very, very, very important.
Yeah. You're listening to the Big Venture Zone. I'm your host, David Cohen. Again, this is the podcast for Gen Z entrepreneurs and founders. We're with Genny Smith, and we're talking about strategic actions as far as your whole business is concerned. And I guess in terms of having supports, we talked about having a mentor, but you can even have like what we are, you and I, we're accountability partners. So we have call once a month and we check in with each other, but
Mhm.
also the importance of networking to meet new people, maybe even having a mastermind team. How do these initiatives help, Genny?
Well, that's really that's I love this because I work from home,
Yeah,
and if I didn't have people like yourself or other colleagues in various different groups, it can be pretty lonely. It can be pretty lonely being an entrepreneur. But when
mhm,
you're an entrepreneur and work from home as well, it can be really lonely. So
yeah,
things like for Gen Z, looking at if they use Discord, so Discord groups, looking at some Facebook communities, group chats, looking at School, SKOOL. That is
yeah.
a wonderful community that I've tagged into. I think it's $9 a month, and you can just join different groups. And there's lots of that's a good like a online community. Look at local pop-up events that like for me, there's a women's group in Port Elgin, which is an hour from here. They're doing an in-person event. Tagging into those things, getting yourself out there with the things you're comfortable with. Because I can see how sometimes it can be a little challenging, but doing maybe doing an ambassador program, doing things like that, or insider drops, like have someone, if they have a podcast or some of their social media, collaborating perhaps with
Hmm.
other people that are depending on what they're doing. Um, business clusters, we used to call them back in the day. I don't know if we still call them that, but I think of things like the Guelph Auto Mall, that people go there because there's a large grouping of the same type of business. So even if it's like, say it's a farmer's market, and looking there for other people that are doing some of the similar things, introducing yourself, joining different groups and pages online. Even things like Eventbrite. If you work from home and you don't want to go out, Eventbrite has a lot of free events that you can do that could be similar to what your niche is, and then make friends there, make friends with those people. Um, yeah, and you don't have to put yourself out there and tell them everything, but you could slowly join in. I'm thinking of a lot of people like my youngest daughter, who's very seemingly very shy now. She wouldn't want to do those things, but she's happy to join and watch, just not quite ready to make friends yet.
Yeah,
Well, those groups can help you get more familiar with people that are aligned with your values and your business goals.
right. And can become clients too. Okay,
Absolutely,
we have
yeah.
about a minute left.
Sure.
This is my last strategic area to look at. You've done really well today, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, so it's marketing. And since budgets are tight, and as we launch and grow, we talked about the money aspect. What are three marketing strategies or must-haves that an entrepreneur needs to be aware of? So can you do that in a minute? I don't know.
Sure. So I think the most important thing is building a personal brand before the perfect business. Going back to socials, they're looking at you. What are you all about? This could be you're going to make a multi-billion-dollar business. I know that, but it starts with you. So what's your personal brand? You got to show your face, show your process. Why are you doing this? What's going on? What value, what impact are you going to add? Really being real, authentic, getting yourself out there. And listen, things like, and it used to be taboo a long time ago, or even 5 years ago, if you swear, chances are the people that you're going to attract swear as well, right? I mean, that's just a small thing of what was taboo then isn't anymore. Looking at, you're going to attract who you are, like attracts like. So really, when you start marketing, be yourself and use the B-roll stuff. Like what I've been doing, what for me, what got my marketing really going, like I post every day, and most of the time I get the best engagement out of me doing videos, talking about whatever I'm doing, whatever it is that day, but being really real, branding myself and being genuine. People want that. They don't want any more bullshit. Where I think Gen Z, any business that I see that a Gen Zer does, I want to know about it. I'm fascinated. I love how creative they are, how they know what to do on social media. They know to get themselves out there. And yeah, so in terms of, I don't think you necessarily need a branding kit and a Facebook page or a website. Google business profile, stick with that. It's free. Go with that. Be authentic and get yourself out there and get DMing and commenting on people.
Yeah.
Not only just post it,
And,
get back to people.
and follow a guy named Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah,
He
he's
knows his
really
stuff.
great. Yeah,
We're flush out of time.
yeah.
We're great stuff, Jenny Smith. Um, where do we get a hold of you if we want to work with you? I want to thank you for being here and taking the time and all the information. You even did prep work, which is amazing. Where do we reach you to work with you as a coach or to talk about your other service, helping women navigate menopause?
Yeah, so I'm on. I try to get Jen Smith, Gen Smith, on all the platforms before they get big. So you can find me on Instagram at Jen Smith, Gen Smith. Middle Season Women's Health Coaching has a Facebook page, and I can give you the links to this too, David, if you'd like to.
Yeah, please, and I'll post it on
Yeah.
yeah.
And my one-page website is being developed right now.
Okay.
But anyone can reach out on any of those social
And you're
channels.
on LinkedIn.
And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm getting some stuff there. I'm on TikTok. Some of my
Right.
TikToks are
What
a
do
little
you
bit
go
more
by
fun.
on LinkedIn?
It's Jenny Smith. Yeah,
Okay.
Jenny Smith. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're active there too. So
I'm getting more active. I'm finding a lot of, at first I started with Instagram. Nope, that's not it.
yeah.
Facebook is where my women are.
Yes.
But also I'm finding professionally making good connections on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, is understanding where your market is, not where you love to post.
I
Where's
know.
your market? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
This is great. That was Jenny Smith. She joined us from her home office in Huron County today. Next week on the show, on Your Big Venture, we're talking with Miss Natasha about her work with people with disabilities and her podcast called Don't Create Hate. That's kind of interesting. So fascinating young woman doing some impactful stuff, Jenny.
Yeah.
And also her passion, so she's combining the two.
Okay.
So have a good week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Big Venture Zone. Remember to like, comment, and share this when you see it, posted it on YouTube. And just do well in the week ahead. And everybody have a beautiful week. Thank you so much. And Jenny, thanks again.
Thanks for having me, David. This was a lot of fun.